Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Grow Your Business with the VA Summit. We have Ashley DeLuca here with us. So Ashley is going to talk about digital marketing, which everybody needs. You guys all need it. You need to market, need to do it digitally, and a lot of us out there don't know what are you doing. I don't. So Ashley's going to be here to help us discuss why we need digital marketing, how digital marketing is going to help you, how digital marketing is going to help your business grow. So I want to introduce Ashley. Thank you so much for being a part of my summit. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm super stoked to be here.
Thanks. So can you tell everybody about yourself and your business?
Yeah, definitely. My name is Ashley DeLuca, and I am a Southern Ohio girl. I've been born and raised in Ohio. I live down here with my two dogs and my husband and my newborn. So it's been really interesting and a lot of fun to be able to transition from a full-time corporate job into owning my own business within the past year. So I have been really focusing on my passion, which is very encompassing all the outlets of digital marketing.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So what does that entail as in digital marketing for you?
So digital marketing, there's so many different layers to it. It's kind of like an onion per se. And so digital marketing that I'm sure you're already on and already doing is social media. So think Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. Those are all social platforms. And that's part of, having a digital marketing strategy is encompassing those social media platforms.
Wow. So do you use all of them?
I personally focus on Facebook and YouTube. That's where my audience is. And for me personally, in terms of where my ideal client is, that's where they're hanging out because I have the ability to be able to share with them. As opposed to my best friend, she's a graphic designer. So for her, she gets tons of leads off of Instagram. So when you're trying to navigate of where you should be just on the social platform, it's always best to start off with one and master it and then move on to another one.
Well, how does YouTube work? I just see people, let me just upload a video to YouTube. And I'm like, okay, how does that work for marketing?
Yeah, so the cool thing is that with your YouTube videos, you have the ability to be able to repurpose those. So what I do is I film videos, and a lot of times I'll take my Facebook Lives. So you're taking something you've already done, posting it on a whole other platform with a new audience. And then from there, you can share out that link. Either you can embed it onto a blog post, you can share it on Instagram, you can take clips of that and then share it on Instagram. And you can just fill in those other content gaps with a YouTube video.
Wow, so you just take one video and you can just repurpose it over and over and over again.
Oh yeah, between all the platforms.
Wow, that's interesting that you do it on YouTube. I just see videos and I'm like, okay. Shows now are YouTube, so I didn't know about the whole marketing part of aspect of it on YouTube. That's really interesting. So what are some of the challenges a business owner has in digital marketing?
So a lot of times when people come to me, they're having issues in terms of not even knowing either A, where to start. They're like, I have a Facebook account, but what do I do with it? Or on the flip side, they're like, I have a website, but I don't know how to drive traffic to it. Or I have an email list and there's nobody on it. So essentially, a lot of times they're at that starting point. They're like, I know I need X, but I don't know how to get Y in that end result. So basically, understanding it's okay to be at X and that Y is totally possible. It's just the fact of putting in that effort and focusing on, getting there. So I think that's the biggest struggle that most people have is just they know what they need to do something, they just don't know how to do it.
So how do you help them? So if a client comes to you and says, Ashley, I need help. Ashley, I need help. I don't know what to do, especially when it comes to Facebook, email, all that. So how do you help them?
So essentially what I like to do is to be able to focus on where is their target market at? Because at the end of the day, if you're putting money into a service, you're putting money into a person to help you with your business, we want to focus on making sure you get an ROI on that, right? That's the most important part. So a lot of times what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see okay, so are you getting any current leads off of Facebook? Are you getting any leads off of Instagram? And then focusing on okay, so what kind of content do you actually like to create? I mean, there's some people who are like, I love Instagram. Instagram is my bread and butter. Well, that's perfect. That's what you should be using. And so I basically take a look and see what they're currently doing, and then also see, are you actually getting any return on investment with the time that you're spending on that platform?
For some people who are starting off and they don't know which platform works for them, how do you find out which one works? Because there's
So
so many.
yeah, definitely. And I think also too, a lot of times like we get so engaged with feeling like you have to be on all of them. And that's not necessarily true. As I had mentioned before, like you have the ability to like repurpose that content throughout all of your social media platforms to save you time.
So it's kind of like testing.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. And so what I did is, because when I first started out, I was on everything. I was like making a whole list of Instagram posts, a whole list of Facebook posts, a whole list of that, and all these different things. And it was very overwhelming and very time consuming. But at the end of the day, I was able to see like, okay, for me personally, Facebook and YouTube, those are my two go-tos. Like that's what, I got the best return on my investment for. So really just focusing on spending time on those, and also seeing again what you're comfortable doing. If you're not comfortable with video, then YouTube obviously isn't for you. But if you're like into the short little catchy captions, you got Instagram for that.
Wow. So how do you know your investment in YouTube is high? Is it because of the comments and the feedback you're receiving from people?
So in terms of that, you're looking at YouTube as a top referrer to your call to action. So everything that you do, especially within like the digital marketing space, like when you think about that, always should have a call to action to that next step. So if you're thinking in terms of like, at the end of the day, like I do YouTube videos to grow my email list. How many people are coming from my YouTube videos as a referral to my email marketing list and measuring those results? Or how many people are taking advantage of my coaching program when, I can see as a referral through Google Analytics that they're coming from that YouTube video. So there's like that middle piece of Google Analytics that'll actually start to show you your results based off of if that strategy is working for you.
Oh, that's interesting. So what's your onboarding process like? Especially like for Facebook, when they want to hire you for onboard, like, it's time to bring them on. And it's like, okay, Ashley, I'm ready for you. I'm ready to grow on Facebook. This is my bread and butter. What's your onboarding process for that?
Yeah, definitely. So generally speaking, the first thing, I have a whole project workflow that I have. So essentially it lists out everything that I would possibly need from them in terms of like, what are your content pillars? What is, I need access to your account, for an example, like how are we going to handle that? And then also focusing on like, okay, so what's your content schedule? What's your promotion schedule look like? Because at the end of the day, like if you don't have your cornerstones of like your content pillars and you don't have like a promotion schedule for how you're going to like what you're going to promote, we would have to start there. And those are questions that, obviously you would fill in like, yes, I have this. No, I don't. And then from there, we just make a workflow based off of, the work that's going to be provided.
Wow, that's interesting. So it's like detailed. And then the client's getting that detailed information of how they're going to grow on Facebook.
Definitely, for sure.
So when a business owner is ready to hire a person like yourself in digital marketing, what kind of questions should they ask? How do they know they're hiring the right person?
So I definitely always recommend doing a face-to-face interview with somebody, like on a Zoom call. Facebook video is now a thing where you can call someone via Messenger for Facebook video. Why I say that is not necessarily, in terms of like a lot of people think. It's a lot about like, how does that person interact with you? Especially when someone is representing you online, it's really incredibly important not only that you like basically jive with that person, but you also can see if that person's like really dry in real life, or if they're really bubbly and passionate. Does that match with you? Because I find that's really incredibly important as well. It's like that same energy has to go back and forth. And then along with that too, it's also really important to understand in terms of like what their process is, because obviously if you already have a process laid out of how you want your social media done or how you want your website to look like or whatever that is, no matter who you're hiring at the end of the day, you have to make sure your process is aligned and it's going to fit and flow together perfectly.
Yeah, that makes sense, because you want them to make sure that they're in sync with you, because they are putting out your content for you.
Exactly.
They are. Have you ever had a client who wasn't happy with the whole process or how their messaging went out? How do you handle stuff like that?
So essentially I'm always asking for an example. So if they're just like very, I don't know what the right word is. It's just very generic. They're just like, I don't like it's just like, I don't like this. Okay, well then what is it that you don't like? And always asking those questions to be able to actually, you know, go down to the details, because it's detailed work. I mean, every single word, every single line, every single picture, you know, it's all very detailed and there's different components. So it's really important to be able to understand exactly like what is it exactly, as opposed to just being like, okay, I don't like it. Okay, well that's fine, but like what is it? And then also understanding too, like, okay, so what are you actually looking for? Because sometimes there can be a disconnect, because everyone's business is always shifting. We're always moving towards a direction. And sometimes there can be a disconnect in understanding, like if someone wants to jot off the path for something different and then they don't communicate that, it can get really difficult. So it's just really more important just to communicate at all times. Like, okay, this is what I'm going to be promoting, or this is what I want to see, or this is what I'm doing.
Right. And then it's like, I think that's important when you say communicate, because that's kind of like what I've been asking people, everyone in part of the summit. And then the key word is communicate.
Definitely, for sure.
You know, and then it helps both sides. You as a business owner, you're able to communicate your business, what you want. And then, you know, the person's helping you will be able to do a great job for you.
Exactly. And I find that a lot of times, you know, especially, you know, in this kind of work sector, it really comes down to communication. And sometimes there's like assumptions made, and I feel like those assumptions destroy everything. It can destroy, you know, a client working relationship.
Yeah, it really can. It really can. So part of what you do is also landing page.
Yes.
Landing page is huge, because I'm also in the process of creating one. What is a landing page? Why is it so huge for somebody's business? Because without one, I know you're missing out on a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. So a lot of times landing pages are confused with sales pages, and they're also confused with websites. Yes. And so essentially those three things actually hold three different purposes completely. So when you're creating a landing page in particular, it's more of a shorter page, but it's really focused on one particular call to action, as opposed to a website. When someone comes to your website, they have the option to check out about you, your services, your testimonials. There's so many different options, as opposed to a landing page that is directed towards one particular thing. And so a lot of times we miss out on opportunities when we just direct people to our website, when we have the opportunity to direct them towards one particular thing.
Do you need a website to have a landing page?
No, not at all. So you can actually, there's lots of email, if your focus is email marketing, like in terms of like what your landing page is going to be about, you have the opportunity to usually use your email marketing provider to create a landing page. I know MailChimp, MailerLite, ConvertKit, like a lot of the major ones all have landing page options within it. It's just generally speaking, if you're looking to do like a payment, like if you do a payment, like a lot of people do payment buttons to PayPal, you know, to like check out, that's not an option with them usually, because they want you just to use it for email marketing. So I always recommend using your website for landing pages, because you have the ability to customize it more towards your branding and the elements and all that good stuff. But there are other options as well.
Wow, that's interesting. So what should you consider putting on a landing page?
So within a landing page, you definitely hands down want to make sure you have some sort of social proof. A lot of times when you have, you know, like your landing page laid out and people forget to add like a testimonial, to add like where they've been featured in their credentials and things like that. You know, a lot of times when people make them, they should be very straight to the point, like grab my guide, here it is, and then have a short little description about it. Because a lot of times if it just has the headline and they don't put a description or add any social proof to it, and it's like, okay, should I download? I don't know what's inside. Like, how is this person qualified to tell me about that? So it's always good to add at least those two things, because, you know, it just reinforces and makes it easier. It makes it a no-brainer decision to either purchase or to buy or to do whatever it is that you're looking for them to do.
So it should just be tailored, focused to one thing then?
That is correct, definitely.
Wow, that's interesting. So what is it that you love so much about digital marketing? Because I'm telling everybody, like, you always want somebody who loves what they do, because a person who loves what they do, they will go out of their way. They will work you will see it in the work.
Definitely.
So what is it that you love so much about digital marketing?
So for me, there's so many sectors of it. So digital marketing is a very broad term because obviously you have your social media, you have like your website, you have SEO. There's so many different things to it, and it's rapidly expanding. Like all the time, there's another platform coming out, and you never know, it might be the next Facebook. And
Yeah.
so it's really fun because you can choose what you specialize within that, and
Right.
you know, really help create like a custom tailored solution based off of their needs.
So how long does it take you to put everything together? It's like, especially like for a landing page, what is the process of putting a landing page together?
So I have the same exact kind of concept in terms of I have a project sheet and it literally has everything listed out that I would possibly need. And then underneath of it, I have the workflow. So as long as I have all the information at hand, like the copy that they want to have on there, the images, you know, the call to action items that I would need, whether it's the PayPal button or the form or whatever that may be, I mean, it could easily be turned around within a week. And that allows time for revision and all that good stuff.
Do you provide some of the copy for the client, or they do all the copying?
I can, and I do sometimes. Generally speaking, they've already like written the copy, so or it's you know pulled from like the program or the item or whatever. So it just sometimes they already provide it, other times I write it.
So where do you find most of your clients?
Generally speaking, I find the majority of my clients do Facebook, and then from there, I get referrals from those clients.
Wow, do they just put out digital marketing or they just type out what they need?
Definitely, yeah. So a lot of times finding posts in terms of like needing help with XYZ. And I have found that the best way to be able to attract people that you want to work with is by serving first. So I always focus on service first. And that's why I have such a strong presence on like YouTube, because video content is so popular right now. And it's easy to digest, and they can listen to it while they're working on whatever it is that they're doing. And so it makes it really easy to be able to serve them. And then from there, you know, obviously they just go down the rabbit hole of finding me like on my Facebook page and all that kind of good stuff.
That's really neat. You little rabbit hole.
Yep.
So in conclusion, for everybody who's thinking about digital marketing and hiring somebody from digital marketing, what would you tell them if they're like kind of on the fence of deciding if that's something they should go and do?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is that, you know, take a look at how much time you're spending on it and figure out if outsourcing it would actually save you time. Or if there's a platform that you literally just do not understand it, but you know you should be utilizing it. So those are two different ways that you know that you should definitely take that leap. If it's going to save you time, because obviously if it saves you time, you can definitely be making more money, obviously.
Exactly.
And then second, if you don't understand it, because at the end of the day, with the ever-changing algorithms and everything along with that, it's usually a lot easier to hire someone who actually stays on top of it, as opposed to you trying to figure it out all the time.
Exactly. So you do your business and let someone like Ashley take care of all the marketing for you, your landing pages, everything that you need. Let digital marketing, virtual, it all can be done for you.
Definitely, for sure.
It really can. So Ash, I just want to thank you so much for being a part of my summit. Explain to everybody what digital marketing is, what it could do for a business, how it can help a business grow. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
All right, thanks. Thank you everybody for watching. Grow your business with the VA Summit. You could grow your business with somebody with digital marketing, because digital marketing is going to help you grow. Thank you, everybody.